Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is me, the Tsokofato, and today I'll be sharing my experience with being a developer for a year now. It is so crazy. I can't believe it's already been a year. So I started working on the 1st of March 2021, and when I'm recording this it's the 7th of March, so it's so crazy. And yeah, but it's exciting. So I thought today I'll just share with you guys my journey to like getting here, like what I studied, how I got my job, and so on. Just a little chat. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and find it helpful. If you do, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We're on the road to 20k. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section. Becoming a software developer started at the University of Pretoria. So I studied computer science and I started in 2018 and I finished my degree at the beginning of 2021, record time or whatever. And by the way, there's a picture of me over there with my degree because child, it was tough, so I need to celebrate every chance I get. But yeah guys, along the way I did fail 2 modules. I failed operating systems in first year, then I redid it in second year, and then I failed compiler construction in my final year. But luckily they let me like do a special exam in the beginning of 2021, so I got to graduate in April 2021, so shout out. But yeah guys, so the requirements for studying computer science when I started, I needed to have 60% in math and English. I'm not too sure of the requirements now. I'll check on the UP website and I'll leave the link in the description in case you're interested. But yeah, that's where it all started. I studied computer science and yeah, I learned a lot of programming. I knew a bit of programming before, but not too much. But yeah, I do have some other videos kind of, going through my experience with studying computer science. I'll link it up in the cards and also put it in the description if you want to check out just the whole journey of like studying computer science. But we're just studying there because that's where everything started. So after school now we're looking to working, but it's kind of tricky because I've been working like since forever. So I started working straight after high school and I was working as a photographer at the Soshanguve crossing, so like the whole for Christmas thing. That's where I was working. And then that was 2017, end of 2017. And then end of 2018 I worked at a retail store. I was like store assistant, 20 rands an hour. Child, started from the bottom. Talk about starting from the bottom. But yeah, so yeah, that's what I did in 2018. 2019 I didn't really work, and but I also used to work on like websites and stuff just in my spare time. And then in 2020 I got a job. So I got a couple of jobs actually. So I used to be in this Facebook group called I Know a Guy, and I got this job where someone was just looking for like templates. So I'd just do that and like charge like 100 rands or something for doing like a template. They would need like random things like a business plan, like, but they always needed things like often, not constantly, but like quite often. So that was really great. So I also, and all these things guys, I added all these things to my CV because I'm like, I'm working, they need to count for something. And then I also worked as a graphic designer but most of my work was done by Canva child. But I was doing graphic design for this company, but just for like their social media graphics and so on, and I was also paid there, so I also added that to my CV. But I think where things really started was when I got a job as a web developer. So I actually got my job through Twitter. So guys, social media actually works. So like the owner of the company saw like my profile and the work I had done, and like, hey, can you send me your CV? Then I emailed them my CV and I got a job as a web developer. So like during the pandemic when everything started, I was working child and it was pretty tough because I think when you're like learning in school, it's kind of different than when you're like working on real life projects. So my advice that I always give to people that even when you're studying, try to try working on some projects that actually like do real life things, just to get your hands dirty and see how things work in the real world. But it was such a great experience. So I worked there for a couple of months. I'm not too sure, I think like from May to like September 2020. But no, I think like from March to like July. Yeah, March to July I worked there as a web developer. It was great. I learned so much. It was such a great opportunity and I was getting paid. I was happy. And then I decided, let me focus. It's my final year, almost exams, let me focus. But then a friend of mine sent me a job post. This was November, for an IT intern. And I was like, okay, I'm almost done with school. I need to be thinking about working. So I applied for internship. They called me for an interview and I actually got the job. So it was great. So I worked there in November 2020 and December 2020. And yeah, it was actually an interesting experience because the company was like an industrial engineering company. So I was like one out of two developers. So it was a weird experience because I feel like I didn't learn much, but it was just I learned how to like work with people because I was like in an office environment and so on. But yeah, that's kind of like my job experience. And then I got my results in Feb 2021 and I'm like, I passed. And then I posted on Twitter. And then also the people that I used to work for as a web developer in 2020 reached out to me because they had a opening for a React Native developer. And yeah, so I applied for that. I did the interview and I got the job and it was great. I was super excited because yeah, like it's my first like working experience when I'm done like studying. So it was really great. It was for a small company, but it's so great because that's like where my whole career started and I'm so grateful for everything. So shout out to them, guys. And yeah, so I worked there for 7 months. So from March 2021 until September 2021, that's where I worked. I learned a lot and yeah, my first like hands-on working experience. But we'll get more to that with like about like how working is and so on. And then I got a new job in October 2021 and that's where I'm still working now. I actually shared my experience when I got that job. I got it through OfferZen and I did a whole video about it. I'll also link it up in the cards and down in the description. But that's just like my experience of like, okay, from studying and now to like working. So now I guess like we're into the period of like transitioning from like being a student to being like an employee. So honestly, for me, I'm enjoying the experience personally, because I feel like there's more structure in my life. But guys, remember, this is just my personal experience. But I feel like there's more structure in my life because with school, I feel like I had like 5 modules at the same time, like with all these deadlines and I'm trying to do everything, so I'm just working around the clock trying to get everything done. But now I work 8 to 5. For both jobs that I worked, it was both 8 to 5, so I kind of like that. Okay, 8 o'clock I'm starting with work, 5 o'clock I'm done, and I try to really stick to those boundaries that I start at 8, finish at 5 and work during the hours, so that I know that okay, 5 now I can do my things, now I can chill or do whatever I want. So I like knowing that okay, 5 o'clock things are done, 8 o'clock things are starting, whereas in school I felt like we were just all over the place. I also like how, because I'm a React Native developer, so I'm kind of focusing on one thing right now, whereas in school there was like a whole lot of modules, like you're doing this programming language aside, this programming language aside and everything. But also one downside to like kind of focusing on one thing, I also feel like, oh no, I feel like I'm falling behind with a lot of things. So there's pros and cons. And another thing that working has like kind of taught me, or something showed me, that I really wish I worked on like real life projects before I got into the workplace, because I was kind of overwhelmed and really nervous because all the work I'd done before was kind of like just websites, because that's what I used to do. But then with the knowledge I learned at school, I just didn't do much with it. I just used it to do the assignments and then kind of forgot about it. So it would have been great if I actually took a bit of time to kind of really try to understand what was going on and so on. But yeah, that's kind of how things were for me. But transitioning from like a student to an employee, it wasn't too hard for me, because I don't know if it's maybe because I started with a small company, so it kind of felt like, okay, this feels like a group project. We're working together, we're getting things done. But even now with like a bigger team, it still feels the same, like that there's a big project, it's broken down to small pieces, we're just trying to meet a certain goal. So I really like that and how things are structured right now. And for me, the transition from being a student to working wasn't that difficult. Alright, another thing that I often get asked a lot is salary. So salary as a developer. So when I started, I kind of I'm not gonna say numbers, guys, I'm not comfortable sharing numbers. You know that when I'm comfortable sharing numbers I will, but this yeah, it's a bit, but when I started I was expecting to get a lot of money, child, because like developers get a lot of money. But I feel like I got a pretty good amount, especially with how things are in South Africa. Maybe I can give you a range. I'd say it's between 17,000 and 24,000. So that's where I started. And then after 7 months I got a new job, and with the new job came an increase. Shout out. But yeah, so now it's between 25,000 and 35,000. So yeah, I don't want to say the exact number, so you guys can just get an idea. So I'm kind of happy with where I am now. I mean, I only have a year experience. Probably could be more, it could be less, but yeah, where it is now. And guys, do ask people, like when I got my first offer of employment, it was great because I was super happy. But then I did reach out to some people, so shout out if I reached out to you. I reached out to people on Twitter, just like that are developers, being like, hey, you know, I'm starting to work now, what can I expect? You know. So yeah, salary is okay. I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, so workload, now I'm just gonna talk about the workload. So the workload, I feel like it's manageable. Like, I've kind of been able to set the boundaries, and I think like the company that I'm at, like, I've never had to work like long hours and like early mornings and late nights. It's always been manageable between 8 and 5, as long as I'm getting my work done. And I also work from home, guys, so it's my little office. It's also in my bedroom because my bed is like literally right here. But yeah, so I think the work is pretty manageable, especially working in a team. You can reach out to people, ask for help, and you know, just take it one step at a time. And yeah, I haven't had much trouble with that. You know, there's some times you don't know how to do things, or you're struggling with something, and sometimes things go smoothly. It's just how life is. So there's just a bit of both. And yeah, so yeah, guys, and by the way, I actually really like my current job. Maybe that's why I was saying all these positive things. I really like my job, guys. And yeah, also don't like to share where I work, so that's a bit tricky because yeah. But no, I really like my current job. Oh, I'm still a React Native developer, by the way. So I just, yeah, that's what I do. I guess lastly, what I'm gonna look at is kind of like the work-life balance, which I kind of touched on, because as I said, I work 8 to 5 and I try to always keep it between 8 and 5. And yeah, so it's pretty like standard because I work Monday to Friday 8 to 5, and that's that. And then outside of those hours, that's when I'd kind of like do my own things. Ciao. I do a lot of things. So, you know, but I feel like I am managing. I wouldn't like to do more than what I'm doing now, but yeah, I think it's nice to have something to do outside of work, you know, because when your life is like all revolves around work, I don't think that's interesting. But again, guys, that's just my personal experience. So I'm always doing a whole lot of stuff outside of work. So outside of work, you guys know I own a small business where I make scented candles. I'm a co-founder of a tutoring company, and I do YouTube, and I started knitting. I'm trying to get back into reading, so I did a couple of things. But I think it's just my personality. I just like to be busy, so that's why I'm always busy. But I like having the structure of in 9 to 5, or in my case an 8 to 5, because I know some people are always like 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. It would be nice to be able to do stuff during the week and so on, but it's just nice to be like, okay, you know, weekends are mine, 5 o'clock and onwards is mine, and so on. But yeah, so far work-life balance, I think it's pretty good. The only balance I have a work-life balance, but I don't have like a work-life rest balance. Well, that's a story for another day, because I feel like, as I mentioned, it's not because of work. It's just that I just do a lot of things outside of work, so I didn't get a lot of rest. But that's not what we're talking about today. But it's just, yeah, so that's kind of where I am in my experience with being a developer. I kind of touched on a lot of things. Maybe if you guys want me to do a video more focused on like one of the like things I touched on, then you can let me know in the comment section. But this was just me kind of just sharing my experience, like, okay, it's been a year now in the working industry and this is how I feel. Like, you know, just a chat, guys. But yeah, if you enjoyed it or found it helpful, you know what to do. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, guys. Road to 20k, that is huge, and it's also my birthday on the 12th of March, so it would be a really awesome birthday present if you subscribe, if you haven't already. But yeah, guys, that is it for this video. If you have any other questions or comments that I didn't touch on, please leave them in the comment section. Or if you have like a video request that's like more detailed on a certain aspect, because I feel like this was kind of like very broad, then also suggest that in the comment section. But yeah, that is it for today, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.